Hello, and welcome to James Lewis's Express Lane, where we get you out as fast as possible. Bringing you power rankings. I know, first game already happened, and I was going to do this beforehand, but I was busy all day. And actually, I'm kind of glad, because this game actually moved up the Eagles for me. Eagles were going to be 5th, because of the way Nick Foles has been playing all preseason. But, that's preseason. This is the real season. So, the real season in hand, seeing how he played, seeing how the rest of the Eagles played, moved them up for me. And actually kinda killed the Falcons for me. But we'll start with number 1. Dun, 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 Patriots. They still have Bill Belichick. They still have Tom Brady. Some people might say it's a system and not the quarterback. I mean, come on, Matt Castle looked like a good quarterback. But Tom Brady was, what, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the Super Bowl? Still lost, but that wasn't on him. But yeah, the Patriots are the team to beat, and they have been for over a decade now. Hell, almost 20 years now they've been the team to beat, almost. So, we'll have to wait and see. Now, who could be challenging them in the Super Bowl? Number 2, the 49ers. Jimmy G is undefeated. Undefeated. I know, it's only 7 starts or whatever it was, but 7 starts, undefeated on 2 different teams. Mind you, he went to a team that had a win. 1 win, undefeated with them. They lost Jerick McKinnon to injury, but they got Alfred Morris, and Alfred Morris has been showing that he deserves to be a starter on that team. Their defense has improved here and there, but maybe not the best defense in the world. I think that could be their one fatal flaw, is that their defense isn't the greatest. But the offense should carry them. Another team where the offense should carry them, but they have an even better defense. As we just saw a couple hours ago, the Eagles, number 3. Nick Foles played like crap all preseason. He could not throw the ball. Suddenly, well, alright, I think the first half they had a yard of offense for the majority of it, and then within like 3 minutes to go, they actually got some offense going. But a slow start in the first game of the season, not unexpected for some teams. Especially for a team that played like garbage all preseason. Their defense came out, their offense came out, special teams came out, put the pedal to the metal, barely beat the Falcons, but Falcons won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Falcons contended for the Super Bowl this year. They got beat by the Eagles, obviously, but they were trying to go for it again. And just like in 2017 playoff game, it came down to the last second. That's why I gotta put the Eagles over this side, because they didn't just play against a team, they played against a Super Bowl inspired team and beat them. Next, the team that lost to them in the NFC Championship game, Vikings. Now, the defense has only improved. With those improvements on defense, they've also improved on offense. Dalvin Cook is coming back. Good for them. They lost Jerick McKinnon, but Latavius Murray has shown that he deserves to be on the team. So not that much of a loss. Kirk Cousins. He knows how to throw the ball. You look at his stats on the Redskins, like, he doesn't have a very good win-loss record. But he wasn't working with as good of an O-line. He wasn't working with as good of running backs. He wasn't working with as good as wide receivers. He wasn't working with as good of a team. And there shouldn't be any chance of them being down by 21 points starting the second half. Because that defense is going to be out there stopping the other team. So he doesn't need to go, alright guys, just need to throw another 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in 5 minutes. No, he's not going to be under that situation with this team. So expect him to go out there and prove that he deserved that contract. Next. This is actually kind of hard to put him up this high, because of all the off-the-field issues they're having, but the Steelers are still the Steelers. They don't have Le'Veon Bell, though. Le'Veon Bell had the most offensive touches of any player besides quarterback last year. Not for the Steelers, for all teams. The most touches on offense. But he's holding out. He was offered a $15 million a year contract. Turned it down. Dumbass. At this point, he could get traded or just, you know what, we're done with you. If you're not going to play for us, cut. Being a locker room headache could be an issue for him. Because there's going to be owners and coaches going, yeah, he's an amazing running back, but he's going to cause us issues in the locker room. He's going to demand, and actually the contract he wanted would have been 15% of the Steelers' cap. Do you think maybe Antonio Brown wants to get paid eventually? Maybe Big Ben wants to you know what? I'm up there in age. I'm not the greatest quarterback as I used to be, but I'm also not going to play for $500,000 a year. You're going to have to pay me. Some of those defensive players, they're probably going to want to get paid. So if you give 15% of the salary cap to one player, that's going to hurt the rest of the team. That's something I don't think he understands. Le'Veon Bell's just thinking, me, not realizing that if he gets what he wants, well, congratulations, you're now the Browns. Why are you the Browns? Because you don't have any wide receivers. You don't have any O-line. You don't have a quarterback. It's literally just you on the field because you got all the money. Yeah, you got 100% of the cap. You got, $100 million a year. But you're going to be the only guy out there. Guess what? Have a good time trying to win when you're literally the only player on the field because they couldn't afford to pay anyone else. Does he deserve more than $15 million a year? Maybe. But like we saw with Andrew Peterson, he signed a huge 7-year contract. He served, 3, maybe 4 years of it? If you give him a huge deal like that, with a bunch of guaranteed money, and then 3 years later he sucks, well, you can't afford to pay anyone else. This off-the-field issue, I think, is going to hurt this team more, or they would be higher on this list. They'd probably be number 3 at least. But because of this Le'Veon Bell issue, got to drop him down to 5. Team I almost replaced him with, number 6, the Saints. They had their quarterback, obviously, Drew Brees. They had their running back, Alvin Kamara. The other guy got suspended for 4 games, but you have Alvin Kamara. Wide receivers are there. Their defense has always been the weak point of the Saints, but every year they've been trying to improve it. Every year they've been adding more pieces. Every year they've been spending more draft picks on it. So every year that defense has gotten better. It might be the best defense in the AFC South, but probably not top 10 in the NFC, unfortunately. So yeah, having a top 10 defense would be great, but when you have a top 3 offense, kind of balances each other out. So expect the Saints to win the South with a lot of hot competition coming from Atlanta and the Panthers. Buccaneers, every year I think this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year the Buccaneers break out, and then they do nothing. So, sorry, Bucs. Next, number 7. I don't want to put them here. I fucking hate this team, but the Packers are the Packers. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, you know what? Looking at Deshaun Kaiser during the preseason, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't stay healthy, Deshaun Kaiser is a huge upgrade over Brett Hundley. So even if they lose Aaron Rodgers for a few games, they should still be okay. Which sucks for a Vikings fan like me because that means I got to deal with that bullshit on the field. But running game, still an issue. Defense, still an issue. They got AJ Hogg and stuff, but not much else. Which is why they're only 7th, not higher. Speaking of issues, the Jags. They had a shot at Kirk Cousins. They had a shot at Alex Smith. They had a shot at other quarterbacks. And they gave all their money to Blake Bortles. But they still have a top 3 defense. Top 3 defense, can that offset the worst starting quarterback in the league? Maybe, maybe not. I know he's not the worst. There's a couple others that are worse, but he's not top 20. He may not even be top 25 starting quarterback. But he had a really good year last year. No, he didn't. He had his best year. If I play 2 years, and 1 year I'd throw 37 interceptions, and the next year I'd throw 36, guess what? That year was my best year. Doesn't mean I'm a good quarterback. Speaking of good quarterbacks, though, Texans. They had so much money tied up on their defense that their offense kind of took a hit. But the defense deserved it at the time. And then because of injuries, retirements, their defense has been falling apart. But they've been putting it into their offense. Deshaun Watson. So you got to think, if Deshaun Watson can stay healthy, well, again, last year he was averaging, 5 touchdowns a game and still losing games because the defense sucked. So, because of that, suspect defense. I couldn't put him higher, unfortunately. Now we're getting into some murky waters here, but I'm really liking in the NFC West, not the NFC East, the Redskins. Alex Smith doesn't put up 5,000 yards a season, but he doesn't have to. He'll put up 30 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He may only throw for 3,200 yards, but he'll have 32 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Yeah, he only likes short passes. It's 2nd and 4. Or he could try to throw it for 37 yards and get it picked off, or he could throw it for 6 yards. Get the first down. That's what he does. They lost one of their running backs that was supposed to start, but then they picked up Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson's older. He may not have the speed and power that he used to have. Watching him during preseason, he still looks pretty damn good for a guy his age at running back who's been every down back that he has been for almost a decade. And he has Chris Thompson to take time away from him, so... Alright, I ran out there for a drive. I'm going to sit. Next drive, Chris Thompson goes out there. Alright, maybe next drive, Chris Thompson stays out. Next drive, Adrian Peterson busts it out for 22 yards before he gets tackled. Comes out the field, Chris Thompson goes back out. The Skins don't have the best wide receivers, they don't have the best defense, but they have a game manager quarterback. He may not win them the game, but he sure as hell isn't going to lose them. They're not going to lose because he throws a pick six with less than a minute to go. They're going to lose because their defense could have stopped the other team. So, for the NFC East, Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. Eli Manning is getting older. He's not as good as he used to be. Odell Beckham and all the other wide receivers had to deal with injuries last year. Saquon Barkley could be what pushes that team over the top and gets them over the Redskins. But we'll have to wait and see how that rookie does. Hopefully amazing, because he looks really good during preseason. Now, for the AFC West, I pretty much had to flip a coin and still couldn't decide. So, Raiders and Chiefs. Raiders lose Khalil Mack, but they have their offense. Chiefs get rid of Alex Smith because they're idiots, but they still have Tyreek Hill. They still have, Kareem Hunt. Like, they still have an offense. But they also lost defensive players. And it's like, well, are the Chargers going to step up? The Chargers have had a top 10 quarterback for the past, 12, 15 years? And they've done nothing with him. Do I really think this is going to be a year they go, you know what? We should probably do something with our quarterback. No, I don't. They're going to screw it up somehow. They're going to get him hurt. They're going to call bad plays. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and they're going to call for a Hail Mary from the 30-yard line. They're going to do just something stupid and blow another year of having a great quarterback. Calling it now. As far as the Broncos go, their defense is still pretty damn good. Their offense, they got Case Keenum. Case Keenum, can he light up the boards like he did with the Vikings? Maybe. I don't think the offense is as good as what the Vikings were, but he still has Emmanuel Sanders. He still has, what was the other guy? Demaryius Thomas. Like, he still has players to throw to. But their running game is... What running game? Exactly. So, yeah, it's like, give it to the Raiders, give it to the Chiefs, with a shot of the Broncos surpassing them in the power rankings. But at this point, it's going to be Raiders and Chiefs neck and neck for that spot. So, what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the Thursday night game? I thought it was a really good game. I wasn't sure how the Eagles were going to... Again, Nick Foles played like garbage during preseason, but that's preseason. Can we really take that into account? Maybe, maybe not. And apparently, it was just the preseason for the Eagles, because Nick Foles came out and didn't blow it. No interceptions. Damn good game. Super Bowl MVP, still a backup quarterback, waiting for Carson Wentz to come back from injury. And when he comes back, absolutely that'll push the Eagles up higher. Probably to number 2. Unless the Patriots take a lot of missteps, they're going to stay number 1. But their very first game is against the Texans. Let's see if Deshaun Watson and the Texans can step up and beat them. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. We'll have to wait and see. So, what do you guys think? Should I move this team higher, this team lower? What would your top 10 or 12 or 15, however many you want to do, how would they look? Because for me, like, who cares about the Bills being at 32, the Jets at 31, Dolphins? No. Dolphins 31, Jets 30, Browns 29. Like, do we really care about the bottom? No, we care about the top. We care about the playoffs. Playoffs! That's right. We're already talking about playoffs.